So welcome.
Thank you.
I never have an introduction because I don't know. I just less things to make it more awkward. So, welcome. My name is Abisai, and you are
Angelica.
Angelica. Such a pleasure.
Thank you. Nice
First-
meeting you.
Same here. First of all, I just want to say, Jenny, thank you because she introduced me to you. So thank you. She's such an amazing. So
Yes,
thank
love
you.
her.
But tell me about yourself. Where did you grow up?
So I grew up in El Paso, Texas,
Okay. But you are originally from?
California. I was born in California, moved to El Paso when I was 5.
What part of California?
Around LA, kind of like 30 minutes from downtown LA.
Do you miss it?
Not really. So I didn't really like grow up there much. So I mostly just grew up in El Paso, so I don't really have like many memories in California.
Okay. Do you like El Paso?
No,
No.
I hate it.
Okay. I don't blame you. What was the best thing to do in El Paso? El Paso.
I don't know. I kind of just hung out with my friends.
Okay.
There's not much to do like besides eat. Oh, I
Okay.
do. Oh my gosh, I miss the Mexican food for
Okay.
sure.
Really? Okay. What was the best? Like a taco place? Or what was the best
Mm.
place that
There's so many different places. Every
like authentic Mexican?
Yes,
Okay.
like there's some restaurants that bring stuff from like Juarez. So
Really?
it tastes like so much better than like just regular stuff.
Okay.
So just like anything, they like El Paso, they make anything like out of like a burger. There's this one burger place, let's just say it like this.
Okay.
There's this one burger place that adds like it's like a regular burger, but then they add like taco meat inside. They're like super big.
Okay.
And it's
just like
just-
a torta.
No, it's
Okay.
a burger.
Okay.
Or they make like
Oh, so it
cheese-
has a patty in
it
it.
has a patty in it, and then there's like a tripitas one, right?
Ah,
So it's like
okay.
tripitas inside your patty, or they have like a pineapple with like a torta, but like or a quesadilla inside your burger. Mhm.
So it's a burger
It's just
and
like-
a quesadilla inside.
Yeah, it's like wild stuff, and it's just so good.
No way. Okay, that really intrigues me so
Yeah,
much.
I'll show
Okay.
you. I'll show you pictures.
Please do. Okay. So El Paso, and then after that. So how long were you in El Paso?
So I was in El Paso until I was in 22, I think.
Okay.
I was when I graduated from college. I went to Dallas.
Okay. What did you graduate with?
I went to UTEP, and I got a bachelor's in psychology.
Okay. Okay. What kind? Is it just psychology, or was there like
no,
a
it's
specific?
it's just a bachelor's in psychology, and then I got a minor in math and some criminal
Okay.
justice.
Okay. What kind of math? Like, if you were to do math.
Oh
what-
man, it's like math on steroids.
Really?
like really,
Like
it
Cal
was-
1, Cal 2.
No, like yeah, but like times 1,000. It was like matrices on steroids.
Okay. Differential equations.
Yeah, but just like
Linear algebra.
it's hard. No, it's like hardcore stuff. Like I don't even know how to explain it. You had one class I had to write a paper about math. I'm like, how do you even write about math? You
Okay.
just do math.
Yeah.
So it's just stuff like that.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so just psychology. And after El Paso, what else?
So after El Paso, I moved to Dallas,
Mhm.
and then I started my second bachelor's. But I'm
Oh, did you?
yeah,
Okay.
in Arizona State University, and I
Online?
online, yeah.
Okay.
So I was in Dallas, and that bachelor's was in forensic psychology.
Okay, did you finish that?
Yeah, I graduated last year.
Okay, so I know nothing about school. Like, I know there's like, what is it called? Associates, and then after associates, you get a what?
A bachelor's,
Okay, and after your bachelor's, you get.
you get a master's,
And after
or you
your
can you can get a master's or just go into like a PhD program.
Okay. So you got your bachelor's
I
in
got
psychology and.
and then another bachelor's in forensic psych, and then right now I'm getting my master's in forensic psychology.
Oh wow. Okay, I did not know all of that. Okay, I thought you were just barely starting school too.
No, I've been in school for like my whole life.
Oh wow, yeah, sounds like it. Okay, so
Mhm.
after that, what do you plan on doing with it?
Um, I want to do behavioral work. So right now I work as a probation officer.
Okay,
So I would do anything like parole officer or just kind of like work in the courts as a psychologist
okay,
or even, FBI. But that's like the main long-term goal, I guess.
really? So
Yeah.
FBI long term.
Mhm.
Okay, what kind of FBI?
Like behavioral analyst.
Oh, that would be super cool.
Mhm.
So can you like read someone right now?
I probably wouldn't be that great at
Okay.
it, but but I'm like a people watcher, so
Okay.
I do like to kind of like analyze people. Or,
Really? Okay.
yeah.
Um, what what drove you to get into psychology first of all?
When I got out of high school, I wanted to do nursing school, and you take your basic classes and stuff. So I took a course in psychology, and it just kind of hit me like, this is what I need to do. Like, it just kind of intrigued me, and there was this one case at the time that I heard about these two 12-year-olds that went and like stabbed their best friend and left her in the woods, for death. But then she survived, and it all, just how people get manipulated and like the way people think, kind of just like it drove me to like psychology. So then I changed my major
To psychology.
to psychology. Yeah.
Okay. Right now, you're parole, right?
No, probation.
Probation. Okay,
Mhm.
so what's the difference between probation and parole?
So probation is more like you got your felony cases, misdemeanors, and then it's not as intense as parole. Like, parolees are like people that have come out of prison and they've been in prison for like a really long time.
Okay, and
It's like the most basic way, I guess, to explain it.
so you want to work with this until you finish your next degree, or how do you
Yeah.
want to go about this?
So yeah, right now like I'm doing probation and I really like it. I'm kind of like working towards like becoming a parole officer. Like,
Okay.
if it's just not easy kind of getting in.
Of
It's
course.
like whenever like spots open up, you just kind of have to be on standby until that happens. But yeah, so once I finish, I would want to do that. As a probation officer, I work like a regular caseload. So I would like to work for like do a mental health caseload rather than just like a regular caseload.
And what's the difference between mental and regular case?
So mental.
So first of all, what does a regular case consist of?
So regular caseload is just like cases that are, let's say, you're like DWIs or like your possessions of
Okay.
drugs and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then a mental health caseload would be people that have a diagnosis of like any mental health disorder. And then so the way you have them report or the way you like supervise them is different than like a regular caseload. But I do have some in my caseload that have to go get like MHMR services,
What's that?
mental health services.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it funded by anything, or it's just like you pay out of pocket? for that?
No, so you do have to do like a registration, I guess, to like do outpatient, or it just depends like on case by case. It can either be like an inpatient or an outpatient, but it has to be like out of pocket.
Oh, okay.
So you get evaluated first, and that's what costs you, and then you go from there.
Okay, so what if a person doesn't have money to?
They have programs too, like for people that don't have insurance or don't have money but need help. They do have like different indigency programs, I believe. It just depends where, like, I mean, at least for like the county and like that I work at, I know they do have like stuff like that.
Okay. What's one of the biggest obstacles right now that's holding you from like pursuing that FBI route?
So I do have a 2-year-old daughter, and I don't want to say she's like, like my obstacle, but
Of course.
I always like have to think about her first before
Okay.
I make any move.
Okay.
So she's pretty much, but I mean, at the end of the day, everything I do is for her,
Of course.
to give her the best life. But that's kind of like what holds me back as far as moving forward to things, because I have to think about her first before anything else.
What would be the biggest sacrifice you would have to give up for you to pursue that FBI role?
My time with her.
True.
Yeah.
True,
so
true.
yeah, it would be like my time, because I can, if I were to apply, let's say I apply and let's say I get it, I have to go for training for like weeks
Okay.
or months, and I would have to like sacrifice like not being in her life for a little bit, and but at the end of the day, like, it would be a good sacrifice, I guess.
Do you know how many hours they work a day?
They're like, if I FBI, they're just kind of like on call all the time too.
Okay.
So that's also like something that kind of holds me back, because like I don't have my if I don't have my family around, it's just kind of hard to be able to be like, hey, I'll be back,
True.
But yeah.
How old do you think would be like a good age for you to say, you know what, okay, she's old enough, or you know what I mean, I spent enough time with her, or
She's got enough of me already. I think that once she like starts school, I can be able, and she understands more of like the concept of like mommy has to go, rather than right now she's aware, but like she doesn't understand. Does that make sense? So maybe like,
makes
I don't
sense.
know, when she's like 5.
of course. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And so she's 2, right?
She's 2, yeah.
Okay. So besides school, where would you be at right now if you did not have your wonderful 2-year-old?
Where would I be? I don't know. I feel like
Would you be in San Antonio?
I don't think I would be in San
Okay.
Antonio.
And why is that?
I think I would be in Dallas.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Why Dallas?
Well, my siblings live there.
Okay.
My parents are still in El Paso, but my siblings live there. So I would just be like closer to like my family. So
Okay.
I think I would be there, and I would probably, I don't know, because I was doing detention work when I was in Dallas, but I don't know if I would still be doing that. I think maybe I would have been doing probation. I mean, I don't know. Who
Gotcha.
knows?
Dallas. Okay. Do you plan on staying in San Antonio, or do you plan on leaving?
I don't know. At this moment, I want to go back to Dallas, just to be
Okay.
kind of a little closer, but I'm still like kind of getting my experience and everything with being a probation officer.
Gotcha. Okay. So besides going to school, what else do you do? Like, what does your life consist of besides your wonderful 2-year-old as well?
So I go to school right now. I work as a probation officer. I do have a side business, an online boutique, and I also work for school. So I do like CA work, which is course assistant work for school.
Oh wow, so you're super busy.
Yeah.
Okay. So like run down your day, like on a regular day.
On a regular day, wake up, take my daughter to daycare, go to work. I work from Monday through Friday from 8 to 5 for like my probation job.
Okay.
And then when I come home, I do homework. I work on school, like school work, not like homework. And then of course like take care of my business as far as like social media posts, or like if there's been orders during the day, like get them ready and send them out the next day. And then of course do all of that in between taking care of my daughter,
Oh wow. Okay.
feed her, put her to sleep.
Wow. Okay, so that's CA work, right?
Yeah.
So how did you get into that? And how many days do you work there, or like how does that work?
So since I do like an online course, I have to do 20 hours of it a week. So you can't really do CA work unless you're in the like in a graduate like
Okay.
program, I believe, because once I like graduated with my undergrad, like the second time they offered me if I wanted to apply as a CA, So I was like, you know what? Let's do it. It's extra money. Like, why not, right?
Okay.
Like, I don't have all this other stuff to do, but I just went for it and I liked it. I've been working with the same professor. This is my second semester working with her, so.
Okay, what does CA consist of?
So I like grade paperwork. I grade like assignments for the professor, and then I kind of interact with like the students on there, like whatever she needs us to do, as far like she assigns us students and stuff like that.
Oh, so just like an assistant, pretty
Yeah.
much. Okay.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
just like a course assistant. You're like the teacher's assistant.
Okay.
It's just, I've always heard TA, but in my school it's CA. So.
Okay. So was it hard to apply? Or
No, not really. You just have to like put how many hours you have available, and then like your GPA and what classes you've taken, what kind of programs what you graduated from. So I do like strictly just psychology. So I'm doing
Okay.
a memory and cognition class right now.
Okay, so you're just taking one course.
No. As far as like doing CA work.
Okay, you're working with
I'm
one
working
course.
with
Okay.
one course, yeah, the memory and cognition, which is I find it very interesting. So it's not too bad.
Interesting. So you're currently going to school?
I'm currently going to school, yeah.
How many classes are you taking?
Oh.
Or like, because it's online, I'm assuming,
It's
right?
online, yeah.
Okay.
So the way it works for ASU, they do like 7-week classes. So I do one at the beginning of the semester, and then I do a second one at the end of the semester. So like right now, I'm taking just one, and it started in January and it ends in March. And then the other one starts March and it ends in May.
Okay. So how do you fit? So you go to school.
Yeah.
No, you go to work,
I go to work, yeah.
and then you take care of your other business,
Mhm.
and then you do CA work,
Mhm.
and then you still go to school, and let's not forget you have a 2-year-old daughter. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Crazy one at that.
how do you manage to do all of that?
I run on like a bunch of caffeine, so I don't know. I just kind of like manage my time, I guess.
Okay.
And just prioritize.
Okay.
So as long as I know my daughter's being taken care of, then I can handle the next thing and just kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. It's not easy.
What's the
but
hardest thing about it?
I feel like I think like it's just like the lack of like time that I have. I feel like I'm like not spending enough time with my daughter.
Okay.
So I think that's just like the hardest thing. It's just like that mom guilt type of thing.
Okay.
But it's not hard. It's just, you kind of just have to like time management.
Okay. So how close are you to finishing school then?
I have like, hopefully I graduate by next summer.
Oh, no way.
Not this summer, but next
Oh,
summer. Yeah. So like a year.
Oh, you're almost there. Okay, how long did that take?
I just started last semester in August. So I graduated with my second bachelor's last August, and then I started my master's in August too.
Okay. Oh, wow, congrats. So by the end, hopefully if everything goes well, by the end of
Of next
next
May,
year, you'll be graduating with your master's
Master's,
in
yeah.
what?
in forensic psychology.
Okay. Wow, you're almost there.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I didn't have to work full time, I would take on more classes.
Of course.
But yeah, I just take one at a time.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
For everything you're doing, it's not bad whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about your second business. Besides your school, besides your regular full-time job, what's
So
your business about?
I opened an online boutique, so I sell clothes online. The name of it is Antelopebtq, which is actually half my name, half my daughter's name.
Okay. And what halves? Like the first half or the back half?
So my name's Angelica and her name is Penelope. So
Okay.
the first hal's mine, second half is
Oh,
hers.
cute. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you? Why a boutique?
I'm that type of person that just wants to do something
Of
all
course.
the time. Just kind of like, I don't know, my mind kind of just like works like overload all the time. And I had been wanting to do it for like maybe 2-3 years. It had been in the back of my mind, but
Okay.
I didn't think I wanted to do clothes. Like I was really into makeup, so I always like, man, maybe I can do like an eyelash boutique, or like you know, kind of like sell baby clothes, or just kind of like the thought was just there of like, what should I do, like what fits me, what is me. And I took a whole turn last year and kind of like focused on like what I wanted.
Okay.
And once I did that, I was like, I saw other people kind of doing their thing, and I'm like, what's stopping me? Like, why am I like holding back?
And what was stopping you?
Just like my confidence in myself,
Okay.
I guess, and like that fear. You know, you have that fear of like, man, a failure.
Of course.
And my mentality was like so crappy. It's like I just didn't have that confidence in myself of like, I can do something.
And why is that?
I don't know. I think it just like factored in with a lot of different things at the time, but I just said, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just go for it. I saw my friend like start her own, and I was like, why am that's kind of where I was like, why am I holding myself back?
Of course.
Like, you know, I can do this, you know, and if it's something that I like, and I just kind of went for it, and I just started.
Congrats. So how long have you had this boutique for?
I opened it in September 2020.
Okay. Oh,
So
recently.
recently, yeah.
Okay. What finally gave you that confidence?
Um,
Confidence is a very thing to find and get and acquire.
Mhm.
But what triggered your confidence?
I think just like focusing on myself.
And how did you do that?
Just a lot of things. I started taking care of myself physically.
Okay.
And once I started doing that, I started feeling better. And then just like focusing really like what I wanted out of life, and like just kind of tired of like not, I don't know how to say it, like just tired of like not living the life I wanted to live, I guess.
What do you mean?
Just kind of like be more free and like be more, I felt like I wasn't myself a lot for like a really long time, and then I just kind of like focused on like who I was, and that's kind of like where I got that confidence of like, let's just go for it, and like my mentality like changing it to where I'm more positive and like more like look at life differently, I guess.
Okay. Have you been more of a pessimist, you would say?
I would say that before, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I was like very like willing to like change my mind, I guess.
Okay.
I don't know.
And but what really triggered this whole like turnaround? I mean, there had to be something that
Well,
really triggered it. I mean,
so it was just like when you be like, I hate playing, I hate like kind of like blaming it on this or whatever,
Of
or like
course.
using this as, but like I, you know, I became a mom,
of course.
and it was like I became that,
Okay.
just that, you know, and you kind of just like don't, you kind of just like lose yourself, and I'm sure like a lot of moms have been there, where it's just like kind of like you go through like that postpartum depression, and you're just
Okay.
like the mom, you're not like you. Do you know what I mean?
I do
Like-
not, because
well, yeah.
I would never be able to understand what that means. But
that is very true, but like, so you just like become like just like a mom, and it's just kind of hard to like come out of it, because all your focus has to go to like your child.
Okay.
And like earlier how I said like that mom guilt, like,
Yeah.
you know, comes in, and it's just like, how am I supposed to be like a good mom if I'm not taking care of me, because it has to
course.
start with me. So that's also like, I was just like not in a good place as far as that, like going through the emotions of like becoming a first time mom and all. So once I was like, that's enough, like I need to get out of this and be like the person that I need to be for my daughter. So that's really much what it triggered. Like I was just tired of feeling the way I was feeling, and then it just started taking care of myself, like physically, mentally, and yeah, just kind of going through that.
Did it happen like did that change happen like quite instantly, or it took a while for you to
no,
get there?
it took a while. So, you know, like my daughter was like over a year old before I even just like kind of started. So it took a few months to like for me to actually like do that.
What was the first thought that went through your mind? Like a couple of your first thoughts that you were like, you know what, I have to take care of myself.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think it's just like a whole, like I've always been like a type of person that like always wants to do more, like I said, but
So all of that went away the moment
No,
you.
it's just like I was like, why am I doing more? Like, what is it for? What's the purpose? Like, kind of like, it's just like, I feel like it's always just like a mentality thing where like how you view life, and if you're viewing it as far as like, oh, well, I don't deserve this, it's like, no, you do, like, go for it, you know? So I think
course.
I think it was just that, like, I deserve to have like the life that I want to have, and like do the things that I want to do, and like express myself the way I want to express myself, you know. I'm an outgoing person, but it just did take a while. Like, even right now still, like, I do have confidence in myself, but it's like I still, like, every day I'm just like working on myself still.
And how do you build that confidence besides working out? And like, do you, like, I know some people, the the moment they start thinking something negative, they just think about something like positive. Like, how do you?
I like to journal a lot, actually.
Okay.
Like, I like to kind of like sit down and like I like to plan out my my months, and like set goals for myself, and just also like appreciate life, like what I have right now, like be grateful for it, because, you know, a lot of people might be wanting what you have, and like you just have to be appreciative of it, and just kind of like I do journaling, and just kind of do stuff that I like
Gotcha.
you know, like just things that are gonna like bring happiness to me, just kind of do that.
I see. Not to be a pessimist, but but what happens if let's say you set all these goals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some reason something happens and you don't hit none of those goals.
Oh, it's happened. It's happened.
Does it bring that morale back down, or you're like, oh, you know what? Okay, cool.
I just set them again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
and what happens if you don't hit them the next month?
Then I just work harder. It's just like.
Okay.
Does
it affect your confidence? It's what I'm trying to get to.
Sometimes it can. It just like depends, like if I'm like in a good mood that day or not.
Okay.
You know, like, you know, because if let's say like I'm not having a good day, and then I'm just like, damn, like I didn't hit my goal, you know, and it's just like, oh my god, like it kind of. But then I'm like, no, like whatever you're getting out of life is what you're giving it. So if I'm not getting the goals that I want, it's because I'm not doing what I need to get them. So
of course.
I kind of like, I'm like, if you would have asked me this like over a year ago, I would have been like, yeah, like, you know, like I would have been so sad about it and not done anything about it. But now I'm just kind of like, well, let's go ahead and do it, and let's shoot for more so I can get to where I actually want to be, you know? I don't know if that makes sense.
That makes total sense. Okay. So confidence is a very, very big aspect of like you pursuing your things. What was the hardest thing about starting your boutique?
Of course, in the back of my head, my mind, it was always just like, well, what if nobody likes what I'm putting out there? Like, what if, you know, nobody buys, or like.
Of course.
It's just like, or like, what if I just like fail, you know?
Of course.
But also I'm like, but what if I don't, you know? Like, everybody starts somewhere, and like I've been very blessed to like have like a good business since I started. It's been rough sometimes, but it's just like that's what it is to like start your own business.
Okay.
You're gonna hit those rough patches, but I don't know. I think I'm just like in such a like let's go mode that I just feel like I just have to keep going, and I can't just like sit there and think like, oh my gosh, like it's not going well, you know? It's like, how can I make it better?
And how do you make it better? What have been some things that have helped you, or what are some things that have helped you, and what is something that you know you could improve on to get better at it, even though you barely started? So like, you know what I mean? So from what you've already done, like what can you do to be better?
Putting my face to my brand
Okay.
has helped me.
Okay.
So a lot of people that follow me are like people that follow me on my like regular social media, because I have like my page for my personal, and then I have my boutique one, right? And a lot of people followed me and showed me that support, but when I started putting me and connecting with others, I saw a little bit more of growth, as far, not even in sales, like just as far as in support,
Okay.
which is like it makes me like very happy that I'm able to like people just kind of reach out and stuff, and it's like really awesome to see that. But it's helped me like me putting myself, not just like doing the brand, you know, like it's just putting my face to it too. Like people want to connect with you, and I want to connect with the people that I'm, you know, kind of that I'm with, like that are following me and stuff. And I do a lot of that on my personal, so I'm trying to do it more for like my boutique page, but also like keep it professional.
Okay.
You know, like
Okay.
so that's kind of what I do.
Have
Kind
you-
of just like talk to them, I guess.
Have you always been comfortable in front of the camera?
Not a lot before. Even right now, like I like I tell everybody, because if you follow me and you watch my stories, I'm just like very out there. But you do not know how many times I like record and delete.
How many times does it usually take?
It takes me like about 5 or 6 times to actually like be like, okay, I'm just gonna do it, you know.
Okay.
Kind of, I don't know, it just makes me so nervous. It still makes me nervous to like put myself out
Of
there.
course. What makes you delete it?
I think I look dumb or something, or like
Okay.
I just don't feel like good about what it is. I'm like, let me redo it, or like
Okay.
I say something dumb and I'm just like, okay, let me go ahead and delete it.
Yeah. And if you're being completely honest, sometimes where you're like after the 7th time of you trying it, you upload it not because it was perfect, but because you're like, you know what, I'm never gonna make it perfect. I'm just gonna put it out there. Or you finally nail that video you were trying to make.
I think it's just like I don't like for my things to look rehearsed. Like,
Okay.
you know, like I want to be me. Like I just want people to
course.
like know me and stuff. So I just once like the 7th, 8th time or whatever, I'm just like, I think this is fine. Like it is what it is. Like this is who I am, and that's kind of like a thing that also like changed a lot. Like I was always worried like, oh well, what are people gonna think, or what are they gonna say? And it's like, well, like if they don't like me for me, then just like I don't need them in
Of
my
course.
life, you know. It's like I just want people to, because then you're just like kind of pretending to be this person that you're not,
Of course.
you know. So it's just like I stopped that mentality. I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna post it, and it is what it is. Like if people don't like it, then that's fine. And because I know that if like 5 people don't like it, I know 5 others might like it, you
Of
know.
course.
So it's just, I don't know.
Do you still struggle with that? People's opinions?
Sometimes I do. I think I only struggle with that when it comes to like mom stuff.
Like what? Like,
Man,
oh, you're a
people
crappy
can
mom. Yeah?
shame so
Yeah.
bad.
Like in what way?
I don't know, like you just like, oh, she's doing that with her daughter, or like, oh, like, you know, or like, oh, she's wearing that, or she's doing this.
Okay.
You know, like, oh, where's her daughter? Oh, she's going out.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, very judgy. Okay,
Yeah,
whenever
just
it comes
kinda
to
like when it comes to
parenting.
parenting.
Okay.
And I honestly, I'm like, y'all take care of your kids how you want to take care of your kids. Nobody's perfect, you know. Every parent has their own style.
Of course.
And as long as my child's not screaming, I'm good.
I love it. Okay, how hard was it to start an actual boutique though? Because like I don't even know how to. I know people who have boutiques,
Mhm.
but I've never like taken the time to actually say, oh, like how did you get started, or stuff like that. Like how did you get started? Like what's your story behind
It's
behind it?
time consuming for sure, and financially, like.
So you bought clothes already?
Yeah,
Okay, and you
so-
have it stocked.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, first I needed to come with a concept of like, what is my boutique?
Okay.
You know, like like when somebody thinks, and that's why I chose the name that I chose. Like, okay, so I'll just go through the rundown. When I decided and I said I'm gonna go for it, I got my permit to sell. So I said I'm just gonna go for it, and then I did that because I couldn't really like look at
Okay.
any clothes without doing that. So I just
Okay.
went for it right there. So
Did that cost you anything?
no,
Okay.
So I didn't know that. Like
Okay.
I didn't know that. So I did a lot of research too before, like when I was looking into so many things, and then I started reaching out to other like boutiques and other people. Not a lot of people like to share,
Of course, yeah.
and I get it. But I mean, if they ask me, I do.
Of course. But
I think there's like space for everybody.
I agree, but then the funny thing is, like, then TikTok comes around, and then you have a million people that are willing to give out all the secrets you were so scared to go, and then all those people that then one day you might need that person that reached out to you because they're doing something that they found the secret too, and then like they're doing something unique, and then you're like, hey, how did you do that? And they're like, well, you never helped me, so
like, all right. But yeah, so luckily, like people that I asked, they were like very nice. One thing that people don't tell you, like, they are like super like, nah, I'm not gonna tell you like who their vendors are, which is like super understandable, right? But it's like, again, I'm the type of person, I'm like, everybody can win and everybody has room. It's what you bring to it,
of course,
your uniqueness, right?
Of course.
So I did that, and then
the permit, hold on, sorry. So the permit to sell it, like, I just go online and I fill out a permit, and
for the state that you're working for.
Oh, okay.
So like I got my Texas seller's permit.
Okay.
And it just depends on like what your business is. Like mine's clothing, so I had to do it that route.
Gotcha.
And you just kind of register your business.
Okay.
And stuff. And then yeah. So then from there I was like, well, I need a name for this thing. Like, what am I gonna? I want it to be something that represents me.
Was that the hardest part?
Kind of. I messaged like all my really close friends and like my sister's like my best friend, and I messaged them. I was like, hey, what's the first word that like comes to your mind when you think of me, right? So then they all just kind of go off and tell me what they thought, and I was like, all right, cool, okay, awesome, right? And I gathered all of that. I'm like, how can I bring a word that means this, right? So I don't even know how I came up with the idea of like splitting our names. So I just did it, and then I Googled it, and then I Googled something, and then it just kind of came up that it was an antelope is actually a deer, which I didn't even know. Like, I was like, what the heck? So yeah, so I was like, but I like it because the whole meaning behind it is like really nice. So I was just like, let's do it, and it fit perfectly. Like I love it. I love the name. And it just has so much meaning for me. And so once I decided that, I was like, okay, cool. What is like my brand? Like, what is the colors I'm going to use? How am I going to do this? How I'm going to like present this? So then I got, logos. I registered my name. Started my website. I did the website by myself. Like, I run my website by myself.
Okay.
And
through like Squarespace or something like
Shopify.
that? Okay.
So yeah, so I do.
Was that hard?
Not real. I mean, I've always been very like social media, like trying to figure out stuff. So it wasn't really hard for me. I've already changed my website one time. Like, when I launched it was one way, and then I was like, no, I want a different website, so I just kind of changed it a little bit afterwards. But it's not that hard, to be quite honest. At least I don't think it was. Some people get other people to make their website and stuff, but so I chose that, and I was like, okay, what am I gonna bring to like my boutique, like as far as clothes? And I started looking, and of course I got some input from my sister-in-law and my sister, and I was like, what do y'all think? The reason why I did this too, like, what I sell clothes from like small to X, like 3XL, and I have like a variety of clothes. Like, I don't want, a lot of people are like, that's for like skinny people, and I'm like, no, like I made this to be inclusive. So like I have like different types of clothes, but they all like fit in with the same kind of style, if that makes sense. But also drink a shot every time I say if that makes sense. But yeah, so I went in to do that, but I didn't start I started small, as far as like I brought in just a few items, and then people were like, when are you gonna bring this and when are you gonna bring that? And you know, I was like, I need to sell stuff first. So I once I started selling, I started bringing in more clothes.
Okay.
I brought my own shirts, like I made my own shirts with my logo. So I brought that in, which they're my favorite from the store because it has like my name, you know, like it has the logo name. And then I brought in the plus size after that, and I have some men clothes in there too, just like some t-shirts, and just kind of working on that. And I just released like what's it called, like clips and scrunchies, so it's like another now type of collection. So
Gotcha.
It's really exciting. Like I love just going and like looking for clothes and what I'm gonna bring to it. But it was just like the feedback I got was like very like overwhelming. It was so good. Like
Okay.
yeah, I was so very, very grateful.
Were you scared to tell your family that you were gonna start this?
No, I was super excited.
Okay.
I was excited because I know they were gonna be very supportive of it.
Interesting.
So I wasn't scared. I was really excited to tell them.
Okay, so you didn't get like why are you starting this? Oh, like what if nobody buys it? Or
No, well, my mom.
Yeah, of course.
But you know, it's just like moms. No, but so when I say family, like it's like my sister, my sister-in-law, like my brother and stuff, and it's just they were so supportive. But again, like their mentality is just like a lot different than like my mom.
In what way?
My mom's just like old school, you know. It's just like and she's very like I mean, I love my mom, but she's very like I don't want to do it, you know, like you know. And every time she sees me do something crazy, you know, she's like, I don't know how you do it, like, you know, I don't know. I guess her mentality is like, I'm not this way, like how are you like this, you know? And I know she's supportive, but it's just she expresses it in a different way.
Of course. What was it hard having that type of mentality, like trying to did it kind of like want to hold you back?
Well, like no, not really, because I was like, Mom, like you're not looking at it this way. Like I can sit there and think about it like that, like, oh my God, what if nobody buys, and I'm not gonna do anything. I tell her this all the time. I'm like, if I sit here and I say, oh my gosh, what if this and this and this, I would never be doing what I'm doing. Like,
of course.
Nothing that I've done like would have been done if I would have just kind of sat there. And she's like, no, yeah, I understand. You know. But yeah, she was actually there when I got my first shipment of like clothes.
Really? Okay.
And she's like, are you gonna sell all of that? And I'm like, she's like, did people already pay for it? I was like, no, Ma. So it's just kind of like, that's a struggle. Like,
of course,
I have to like explain it to her, and I hate explaining stuff. She has like 21 questions about everything.
Of course. Yeah. That's the reason why I asked. I remember when there's some endeavors I wanted to start like back early on, and I would tell my mom.
Yeah.
And I would hesitate because I knew that no matter how much I explained it to her, like she would never understand like my vision, and her vision would have never matched. And like sometimes I would hesitate, and I would be like, oh, like I want to do this, like, because I knew she wouldn't understand, which made me say, you know what, she might be right. I might just, and I would delay it a week or 2 weeks, and because I was just too scared to say it. And a lot of people don't start what they want to do because they're afraid to tell. They're afraid of the feedback or the comments or whatever the case might be that a family member is gonna say, like your mom, your dad. They might not understand, so they're like, oh well, if my mom doesn't understand, like, I'm not gonna do it, and stuff like that. And that's why I wanted to hear the like your mom's point of view, because I feel like so many people get held back because they're afraid to start because mom's gonna say this.
And she grew up differently, you know, like, and I just, and it's crazy because she always tells me that, and I always look back and I'm like,
tells you what?
Like, she tells me like, how are you, like, how do you just go out there and do stuff like that, you know? And like, or I tell her, hey, I'm gonna do this, but why? Like, she just doesn't get it. And it's like, well, you grew up differently, like in a, you know, she grew up in Mexico, and they didn't have much, and
Of course.
us growing up, we went to school and everything, and it's just like we grew up differently. We grew up here in the US, and it's so different than over there, and it was like so crazy for her when I was like, well, I'm gonna leave El Paso, like,
Really? Okay.
I was always like, I'm never staying here, so I'm leaving. But I've always just kind of been like that. I'm just like, I'm just gonna go, like, I'm gonna go. And it was like, oh my god, you're gonna go to Dallas, like, that's such a big place. And it's like, Mom, like, you just kind of have to go for it.
So you pretty much like stiffed arm her and said, you know what, I'm gonna do me, and
well, it sucked. I miss her all the time.
Of course.
And we're really close, and I talk to her literally every day, like,
okay.
every day.
Did y'all get closer once you moved, or the relationship really didn't change?
You're gonna laugh, but even when I lived with her, with like my parents, I would like go to school, and then I would like take, like, if I had breaks in between my classes, like when I was in college, I'd be like, hey Mom, what are you doing? I would call her, or like if I get out, I'm like, okay, well, I'm on my way, like I just called her for everything.
Okay.
And, like, my sister too, because my sister, she never really was around. She didn't live with us because she like lived in California. She's going to school, or then she got married, and then she came to Dallas. So yeah, they're like the two people that I call first for everything.
Interesting. Okay, so your bond and your relationship with your family has always been strong. Okay, so the support automatically was gonna be there. Okay.
Yeah. They just kind of want me to be happy. So.
Of course. So whenever it came to financials, financially starting this business,
I didn't want to think about it. I was just like, I had money saved, and I said, let's just go for it. I budget myself, but one thing adds up to the next.
Of course.
But I just kind of went. I said, I can't. I limit myself to certain things. I started off just like with the logo, kind of scouted where to get that. Started my business cards, kind of just took it step by step.
Okay.
And just went little by little, like, added stuff too.
Okay. Do you ever get carried away and say, you know what, I bought X amount of things, and then you're like, oh man, why did I buy that? I should just start it a little bit smaller.
Yes, I do.
Do you still struggle with that?
A little bit.
Okay.
It's just like, I get so much feedback, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so excited, let's do it. And then I buy it, and I'm just like, stuck, and then I have to like oversell, like kind of like push it and stuff. But I just wanted to I wanted to make this so like different. I take care of my packaging, like I make sure, and my thing is like when you order from me, I always make like a TikTok video.
Okay.
So I've had a lot of people like, oh my gosh, can you post my order? And it's so exciting, and it's just like that's like kind of like my thing for my business. I kind of post your order and stuff and get it ready. So just like I do get carried away. Like I like to buy like a lot of stuff just because it's my name, it's who I represent, like what it's representing, and it's like I don't want to half-ass anything.
Of course.
It's just like quality, and every day. Of course, I'm not perfect. There are some like glitches in my stuff. As far as like I need to iron my clothes at first. They were like all messy, and like not messy, but like you can tell they needed to get ironed. So it's just like stuff like that. Just kind of like overcome that and get better.
When it comes to packaging, I've been seeing a lot of creative stuff on TikTok about how people package stuff like that. I
haven't gotten to the point where like I have like this one vision for my packaging, but it's just financially, like I'm just kind of holding off.
Okay, why is that?
Because
like roughly how much?
Well, it's not.
Okay.
No, go.
No, go on.
It's not gonna be that much. Kind of. It's just like I don't know. It's just like it holds me back because I want to like invest in other stuff. Like, am I gonna invest more in packaging, or can I buy this other piece that can potentially, because potentially I'm just like losing money with packaging.
Of course.
As far it's you put a price to your thing, and it's just that includes everything, that all that work that you put in. But a lot of people don't understand that.
Of course.
And and I didn't see, you don't see it that way until you're like on the other side, or you follow people that have been starting. I mean, I'm a big like support local business. Like,
of course.
I've always like, if I can find something, I'm like, I'm gonna go there, or because I just, big corporations just, they have all these people coming left and right all the time. So, but yeah, I have like this one vision for my packaging. It'll be perfect one day.
So is this the only business you have, or do you want to start, or do you plan on starting something else or a different endeavor that you want to get into?
Yeah, so I actually do other stuff. Like, I do another business. It's
Okay.
more like direct sales, more MLM type thing.
Okay.
I do like Herbalife on the side too, as
Okay.
well, which is also when I started taking
Interesting.
care of myself. That's the route that I took. So I just like started watching what I was putting to my like in my mind and putting in my body.
That's the hardest part, putting
Yeah.
into your body. Okay.
Yeah. I know, right? You just want to eat all the tacos.
Exactly.
Today I was gonna go get tacos, but I didn't.
No.
I was like, not today. Satan, just kidding. Yeah, so I do that. Of course, I have this one thing that I really, really want to do, but I'm just giving it time, and it's like a mixture of like both Herbalife and Antelopebtq.
Okay.
So I want to grow it, of course, but I'm
Time
just,
for what?
huh?
You said you want to give it time.
Time to get everything that I want to get for it. Save financially.
Of course.
Basically it's just financially, like be able to have all my finances good as far as like growing more, and also like I want to give my boutique time to grow.
Of course.
So that's pretty much like I do want to do something, and I'm excited. Like if I could, like if I feel like sometimes the one thing that like holds me back from like being able to grow like my business it's just like work. But I have
What
to,
do you mean?
like my job, like my full-time job, but I also can't just like drop my
Of
full-time
course.
job.
What would you do different?
If I didn't have I would definitely post more content, more like
How long does content take you to post? I mean, trust me, I know it. For me, it takes forever. Like if I'm trying to upload a video, like it probably takes me like an hour just to finally post it. But like, how would you spend that time wisely?
Basically not just like posting, but like taking the time to actually like get ready and post stuff. You know what I mean? Like pictures and
Okay.
like it's not just like posting whatever. It's
Okay.
like actually like getting ready for the camera and posting my stuff, and like having more content, like have more pictures of my clothes, or go somewhere and take pictures with my clothes so I can have more content. Just reach out to more people. Like I feel like I can't reach out to enough people because I'm like working, and I can't just like sometimes I do, like I'm on my social media trying to like
Of course.
contact people and stuff, but it's like I can't do that because then I spend a whole hour there and I'm like, oh man, I gotta get back to work.
Of course.
So it's just like spend that time, like, and also
I'll show.
also like just like plan out my day to like be able to just, I guess, bring more like exposure to like my business.
Okay. I would say, what are you doing right now? But like, you do go to school. You do have a full-time job. You do run this. You do run that, and you do have a 2-year-old daughter. But if you were to leave, you really think you would be doing all of that you mentioned you want to do?
What do you mean?
For example, me, I'm a good example for this. So like I go on these little verges where like before I'm not saying this is you, but this is me. This speaking out of experience of my
Yeah.
own end. I was like, I was working a full-time job and a part-time job, and it wasn't tough, but I just didn't have time, like daylight time, to go
Yeah.
out and do, like when I wanted to take photos. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna quit my full-time job because I'm happy with my part-time job and I like it more than my full-time job.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna stick with that, and it's gonna do everything. And then once I quit, I'm gonna be able to. My whole day's gonna be free. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And the moment I quit, all that time went. I don't even know where that time went. But like none of what I told myself I was gonna do, I did. The funny thing is, I would work harder and I would do more when I had less time than when I had more time. If that makes any sense. So like whenever I was working my 2 jobs, I had to find time to do what I wanted to do. Like instead of watching TV, I had to focus that time and do this. Well, the TV was playing, but it wasn't paying attention.
Wait, let me ask you, what were you watching?
So many things. YouTube a lot.
Okay.
So much YouTube. So it's just random YouTube stuff. But that's the thing. Like, but the moment I quit, all those things that I told myself I was gonna do, I didn't do them. And then I'm like, you know what? Oh man, like I just quit this job that I didn't mind. And now I'm not doing what I told myself I was gonna do. But whenever I did have these 2 jobs, like I worked so much harder and I was hitting the goals that I wanted to hit.
Yeah.
But now that I had all this free time, like I wasn't hitting no goals that I wanted to do.
And I think that comes with like, you're like, I can do it tomorrow. I think that's what it is. And I get it, because this weekend I was like, I'm gonna do this, and this, and I'm like, what the heck? It's already 7 o'clock, like, you know. So no, yeah, I think that I would though. I think that I would be working hard, but I would probably maybe slack off here and there. It's just that because it's like, how am I gonna pay my bills?
Of course,
you know. So it's just, I think that I would. I can't just sit around and do, but I do get what you mean, like, because I feel like I would be doing the same thing. I'm like, I have so much free time now, but it's like, nah, girl, you got it for this. Like, do this, you know. Yeah, self-discipline for sure.
Personally, what do you need help with the most? Like, if you could say, you know what, I'm gonna double myself. I'm gonna make a replica of myself, and like this person is gonna be doing this for me. Like, what would you assign your little replica to do? Like,
replica. I don't know.
What can you do to be better at your business, or do like?
I mean, can I add more time to my day?
Okay, except for that.
I think just like taking care of, like, I guess, like, again, like social media and stuff. Like, if I had somebody that maybe can help me, like, be able to post content more often, or I think that would be
some more social media
more
stuff.
like social media stuff. Yeah, for sure. That would help a lot.
Interesting. Okay, so so if you had to pick, let's say, when the time is right, your boutique business and what that big idea you had that eventually you'll get there, you had to choose between FBI, your daughter's already old enough, you know, like you figured that out, and this, and you had to pick one. Is there a route you're willing to go with?
I think
at this very moment, like, if
at this moment, I think I would go FBI.
Yeah.
I just I like the action. I like the whole concept of it. It's been something that's just like always, unless I can interview a serial killer while I'm just doing my boutique, I'm super down. Like, that's like my one bucket list thing.
Oh, so you wanna do more stuff with like serial killers then?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so like,
man, if I could have interviewed Bundy, that would have been the best thing ever.
Why him?
He's like poster boy for serial killers.
Yeah.
He's just like the perfect.
But for you, why him?
But for me, because he's just like the perfect like person to talk to, because he's just gonna be talking about himself. He was the type of person that if you asked him a question, he would just go off and talk about himself, and I think you would get a lot more information. The more you fed into it, like the more he would like spill. And I'm sure he had a lot of unsaid things, and I think that.
How come he didn't tell him?
because he wanted to take that was his pride, you know, like he wanted to take it with him.
Okay.
But he also wanted to glow, like he wanted people to know it was him, but he also wanted to take something with him.
Okay, so
I mean, that's just my thought.
of course. No, of course.
Based on what I've seen, I talk like I talk to him.
Okay, so serial killers is something you really would like to dive into. Like really like talk to them.
Oh, like really get into it.
Like an age group?
Like you and me right now. I would be down. Go to a prison, and there's this one guy that I do want. He's still alive actually. He's creepy. I don't know if you've ever watched the Mindhunter. It's on Netflix. So it's like kind of like two FBI agents, and then they're essentially they're the ones that came up with the word serial killer.
Oh really?
And
okay.
They
Oh, what was the show called again?
Mindhunter.
Is it like an episode?
No, it's like two seasons.
A movie. Oh, okay.
It's like a
episode.
Okay.
Episode.
Sorry, I thought you said like one.
Sorry,
I was like,
no. Okay.
But
I'm gonna have to see it.
Yeah, and they're like talking about this one serial killer, Ed Edmond, and it's just so creepy. Like that guy plays this kid like so good. Well, he's not a kid, right? He's a grown man, but he like the guy that they're interviewing, the serial killer that they're interviewing. He plays the role so good. It's like, and he looks just like the actual serial killer.
Oh, so it's not him. Okay.
It's not him. No, it's not
okay.
him. But he's another one that I would like to interview.
Why?
He's creepy. He's just like very like nonchalant, like yeah. So like I killed her, you know, kind of like that. Like and kind of like he's smart. They're the smartest. Like I mean, to get away with what they get away with. And yeah, that guy, you should look him up and look into it.
Okay.
I get very invested with like shows that I watch or like serial killers period. So I just like dig in and go in. So that's yeah. I would like to interview one day.
Okay.
But like I want to interview an old school one, not like
a recent one.
Not a recent one. I want an oldie.
Not a Gen Z one, but.
No. I want a boomer. Just kidding. Yeah, these Gen Zs for sure not.
They're smart too, though.
Just kidding. I'm in between millennial and like my age is like right there where you stop being a millennial and you become Gen X, Z, whatever.
Gen Z? Because what age group is Gen Z?
I think it starts in like is it 1997, 96?
I don't even know.
But
So,
but I'm still a millennial, so I don't consider myself
Gen Z.
Wait, is there an X? Or
I thought there was.
I thought Gen X is like millennials too. I don't know.
I don't even know.
I don't even
Might
know.
be.
Point is, I'm getting old.
So to finish off, if you could plug anything, what would it be?
Wait, what do you mean?
Plug, like, talk about something, like your social media, that people could find your boutique.
Oh, okay. So
find you.
I'm at Instagram is at antelopebtq. Well, it's antelopebtq.
Okay.
And TikTok is the same. My website is antelopebtq.com. And Facebook also, it's antelopebtq.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like everywhere.
I love it. Yeah, next time I'm gonna do some research on the serial killer. You tell me, and then we'll sit down and have a podcast and we'll talk about him.
I'm down. You know what? A podcast is like another. So when Jenny told me about you, I was like, oh my gosh, yes. I've always been wanting to do like a podcast, and I think that if I were
like start your own.
Yeah, like start my own, and if I were to do it, definitely I would go in, and I'm a crime junkie, so I would just.
Why don't you?
I want somebody else to do it with me. I don't want to be like the only one talking.
Okay.
You know. Also, I don't know if people are gonna like my voice. If I don't like your voice, I'm not gonna listen to your podcast. That's my thing. So it's like
interesting. Okay.
If people don't like my voice, they're gonna be like, nah, not this girl.
No, not her. No. That's a fair point. No, I hear you.
You know, there's this one podcast that I really wanted to like it, but I just couldn't with the voice. I was like, I'm sorry. They had really interesting stuff to say, just I didn't like the voice.
The voice.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. For
Fair
sure.
enough. No.
But you can also follow me on my personal. It's angelicadzz Instagram.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much, Angelica.
No, thank you.
It was really fun. Thank you so much. And sorry for making you wait, but thank you.
It's okay. We got coffee. We're all good.
Thank you.